last like preliminary thing I want to bring to your attention. 3 guys who we might not talk about too much because they're not necessarily like prospects about to be drafted. And we'll dive into a lot of those, but there's 3 players to start this tournament that have absolutely just impressed me. And I say impressed me in the sense that like I wasn't expecting to be impressed by them this early. And starting with 2 Slovaks in Adam Gajan, the goaltender who plays out of the Green Bay Gamblers, I'm pretty sure, in the USHL, goaltender for Slovakia, and Samuel Honzek, dude. They have been absolutely insane to start this tournament. And I have one more name on Czechia, but let's start with those 2. I mean, thoughts on both of those guys. Obviously, the goaltender, like he saved them and won them the game today against Switzerland. Switzerland would have been up 2-0 or 2-1 if he didn't make those 2 saves in the third.
Yeah, I mean, those are 2 players on 2 very fun players on a very fun team. Like the last couple of years, Slovakia's had a major like push just in terms of like the type of prospects they're generating. Samuel Honzek, Nashville, or was it Calgary? I can't remember who we got drafted.
Calgary.
I think it was Calgary, right? Yeah, Calgary. Just came onto the scene last year, the WHL for Vancouver, and tore it up. Then he got hurt, I think, right after the World Juniors. Maybe right before. I can't remember. But he is a beast. He's huge. He moves really well. He can play center. He can play wing. He's got a fucking phenomenal shot. Tons of skill. So no surprise, really, that he's kind of popping off here. And again, that Slovakia team is just so fun to watch. They've got our boy, Servac Petrovsky, who's playing well. But Adam Gajan was the story of Slovakia last year. I mean, he almost single-handedly won them that game against Canada. He's just come up with save after save when they needed him. So not all that surprised that they've played as well as they have. They really fucking took it to Czechia in game 1. And those 2 really stepped up big time, obviously. Another kid for Slovakia that I've loved for them, Philip Meshar, the Canadians draft pick. Last pick in the first round 2 years ago. He's been phenomenal. He was legitimately unbelievable in the first game against Czechia.
That game is the best game of the tournament so far. Like that started it off with a bang, dude. And honestly, I was up the whole night before watching boxing at 2 a.m. because it was in Japan. So I didn't even sleep. I was like, I hope this game's not boring. I'm going to fall asleep. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah, nope. I'm up and I ain't going to bed. I ain't going to bed till later today because this game was unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, and with just because I mentioned him, I know he wasn't one of these 3, but Philip Meshar, that pass he made just Petrovsky on the first Petrovsky goal. Both goals in that game were slap shot one-timers. My God, he's nasty. But like perfectly weighted sauce pass over 2 sticks right on fucking Petrovsky's tape. Petrovsky just hammers it home. He's been unbelievable. But Slovakia is so fun. Like they've got this mix of like, you've got a couple undersized guys who absolutely fly, high motor, but like skill to match, and they play hard. Then you've got the big boys like Honzek. Like that's such a fun hockey team. And again, I was wondering what they would do this tournament. You know, they've lost a couple of the big dogs that are now playing either in the NHL or like, yeah, they are playing in the NHL at this point. But Adam Gajan, huge for them. Sam Honzek, beast. And they've got a couple, like I think Repsik's been playing really well.
The whole team is nasty.
Yeah, they've just got a really fun, high octane offense team. And they are kind of like the team you don't want to end up playing in like the first medal round or whatever. Like just because they can play with any team here. They're not necessarily one of the favorites or whatever, but they are miserable to play against. And they can like maybe not match up completely to like teams like USA and Canada, but they're more than capable of showing up on the day and beating you. So just a really fun team. Like I think last year they're probably coming to the tournament, like the tournament sweetheart. Everyone wants to see Slovakia do well. Anytime like a country has a push, like a smaller country has a push where like they're generating all these prospects and they're playing really fun hockey, like I think that's always exciting, just so the World Juniors, especially now that Russia can't take part. The more teams that really like can play outside of like Canada, USA, Sweden, that's always good. So I love Slovakia. They've got a ton of players who I have a lot of time for. So no surprise that they've started the tournament as well. Although I don't know if I actually would have seen them kicking the shit out of Czechia coming.
No, I thought it was gonna be way closer of a game, but
yeah,
second period on, they were just in total control. And again, I dogged on Czechia a little bit day one because I was just getting so fucking pumped, and I was like, all right, here we go, Slovakia, and obviously supporting our boy Petrosky. But another player who today, and who didn't look he didn't look terrible in the loss to Slovakia, but today really just was like, I'm just gonna lead the charge and absolutely dummy Norway, was the New York Rangers prospect Jiri Kulich. Man, he is nasty, and like he looks like a man amongst boys.
Sabres prospect, yeah.
Sabres prospect. Sorry, Sabres prospect. He's playing in Rochester.
Right. Yeah, and he lit up the AHL last year. He's doing it again this year. Like, he was
so good.
A guy who I definitely would have qualified as like one of the steals on draft day, because he was a little bit, I mean, he was pretty well known, but he was playing in the Slovakian league for Nietzsche, or not Nietzsche. Who was he playing for? Oh, I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't Nietzsche. Whatever. But he has an absolute cannon. He is a prick to play against. He's come a long way just in terms of like a 200-foot game, but like for me, he was one of the guys that I had kind of like on that pre-tournament like all-star team or whatever. Like I was like, that's one of the guys that if Czechia does anything, he's going to be one of the leading scorers just because of all the ice time he gets. I mean, he plays like 24, 25 minutes a game as a forward already. Played really well last year. No surprise that he's got that. It was a hat trick today, along with Edward Schala, who looked unbelievable.
5 points today.
He was
5
insane.
points today.
Yeah. So they desperately needed that win today, obviously, but like those big dogs showed up, especially unbelievable fucking game one, pretty much right in the beginning of the game. Adam Jirasek, he's out for the tournament with an injury. Yeah. Last year, his brother, same thing, game one, had that major injury that ended his tournament, and then missed a lot of time leading up to draft day. Or not draft day, because he got drafted the year before, but just a bummer. It's crazy. It's like the two brothers got hurt on day one, like one after the other. So
that's nuts.
They're going to need a couple of guys to step up, and Kulich and Schala definitely did today for them.